farm this week. It's been a warm week, but life is cooling down just a little bit. We are really hoping for some rain today, so do a little rain dance if you can. A lot of it's gone north or south of us, and our irrigation pond is down by about 4 feet. So I know our friends down at Blue Gate Farm could also use a rain dance, so if you've got it in you, please help us out. So this week in the share, it's a really packed share. This is Emma Dunham, who maybe you haven't seen on video for a little bit, but she's gotten a little bit taller, and she's going to tell you what everything is in the share this week. Go, Emma. All right, what is this? All right, Sun Gold tomatoes. She's not going to talk, I guess. You got to talk louder. Kale, and kale it's a really versatile green. You can go ahead and you can strip off the stems, and you can saute it. You can make it into kale chips. A lot of people make it into smoothies. My favorite variety of smoothie is really simple, and now that the local apples are starting to come on, you could go ahead and take some of those carrots from last week's share, juice it with the kale and apples, and it's a really good sweet mix. We also have, Emma, what do we have? Eggplant in the share. So my favorite way to make this is baba ganoush. You can simply just roast it, toss it in with some tahini, lemon. I use an entire head of garlic in my batch, but that's a really nice spread on sandwiches and things like that, or with pita chips. One of my favorites is cucumbers. You'll get a couple of cucumbers. The field looks pretty good, knock on wood. It seems like every 3 years we have a really good yield on cucumbers, and luckily I think this is one of our 3 years. So, and then Em, what is this? Green beans, yeah. So green beans are great. You can just snap off the tops. And then you just kind of peel that back, and you can steam these, you can roast these, you can do whatever you'd like with these. But they're making, it's a nicer quantity this week than it was last week. So hopefully you get a really good serving out of it. And then here we have onions, red onions. I love these things. These pair really well with the cucumbers. If anybody's grown up in the Midwest, cucumber salad is usually a huge hit. And what I do with that is I just wash the cucumbers and then thinly slice them, toss them in a little bit of vinegar, some salt, a little bit of sugar, and then I dice up some onions really finely. Depending on which side of the family you're on, some people add mayo and some people don't, but you know, do what you like. It's a really refreshing salad. The Romas, our outdoor tomatoes, are starting to come in. So you might have a share that has some larger tomatoes, or it might have some Romas. And so what we'll do is we'll prioritize these, and those look good. And you'll be getting those in the share shortly. So if you don't get the Romas this week, you'll definitely get them next week. And I have another helper. Are you going to show them what you have, Leo?
Blackberries.
Blackberries, yeah, those look tasty. Oh, and so then we have some summer squash. You might either get patty pans or some of each. This is a zucchini. You can use them either way. What I did this last weekend with friends is I took and I diced this up, and then I sauteed it in garlic on the stovetop, and then we grilled some of the potatoes, and I tossed that sauteed garlicky zucchini in with the grilled potatoes, and that was really good. Broccoli, this is probably the last week of broccoli. The summer heat is finally hitting, so our spring broccoli is kind of coming to a close. Again, I think Andy has said this on the newsletter before, but if it appears kind of funky looking, don't worry. It might, you know, have that appearance, but it's just due to the hot, dry weather. So still tastes good. Fennel, we took off the tops because the tops were huge. Fennel, it's going to taste a lot like black licorice, so if you're not a huge fan of black licorice, I recommend simply slicing up really thinly, and you can saute that. There are a lot of recipes out there that call for like garlic, butter, and Parmesan, and you can do like a bake, or you can do this on the stovetop. If you do like the taste of fennel, you can probably use it. When I say probably, it's because I'm not a huge fennel person. But it's good if you like that taste, and you can shave it and put it on a salad, and that gives it a really good flavor. Again, you're going to have some potatoes this week. I think what we're going to try and do is limit this. She's just eating. That's fine. It's kind of what we do here. We had cousins here this week, and people are grazers. So Leonora helped her cousin learn how to eat diced raw onions. So this is kind of what they do on the farm.
Nice.
Beyond that, this is the share. We are really, like I said, hoping for some rain this afternoon. We have another pizza night, so we'd love to see some shareholders from other communities and the Grinnell community come on out to the farm on Friday. Yeah, and enjoy a slice of pie with your farmers. So until next week, have a good one. What are you doing, Morrison?
Carrying in the onions.
Onions?
We harvest onions.
What do you think the yield is like this year?
Fabulous.
Fabulous?
Yes. The yellows, this variety is a little bit smaller. They're bred that way, but their flavor is really fantastic. So like some of our white ones.
Yeah.
Pretty nice looking onions.
Have you ever seen onions like that on this farm?
Never ever in my long-legged life.
Yeah. And that is no joke.
No,
This is
best onions ever.
What do you think, Hunter? Are these the biggest onions you've ever seen on this farm?
Biggest onions I've ever seen in general.
Yeah, oh awesome. Yeah, so check this out, shareholders. Here is your serious bounty of onions. And what we do with the onions is we pull them out of the field, which is precisely what has just happened with this pallet right out here. And so they get brought in after the harvest, and we are currently standing in the greenhouse, and we've got fans going, and the reason they're in here is so they can dry down. The yield is quite high, so normally they're not stacked as deep as this, but it's a bounty, so this is a good thing. So then what we do is we flip the piles so they can dry down nicely. And in the background, what you see, like right here, this is how we dry the garlic. So we bring this into the packing shed as well, and you can kind of see that the bundles are tied together, and then they're just strung up here. And what we do is just kind of clean them as we go and knead them, and then they'll get put into the cold storage for future use. So that is the story on onions.